Well, you gotta love living on a farm. You go to bed one day working on combines, you wake up the next day, and Dad decides that we are going to now turn this old pole barn that Grandpa built, I think in the 80s, into a greenhouse. This pole barn is decent sized, but it's just not tall enough. We can't fit nothing in here. Literally the only thing that fits in here is combine heads and like the mini payloader and the skid steer. So what we're gonna end up doing here is I'm taking the mini payloader there and I'm digging out the dirt floor that was all gravel and T-rock out of this because it's so compacted it ain't gonna work for growing plants. So I'm gonna dig it down about a foot or so, and then they're hauling in nice sand for me right there. And I'm gonna take that sand, fill it in here, mix it with a little bit of old rotted manure from the cattle we had 10 years ago, and that should make some great sandy, loamy, growing soil. So what we're gonna end up also doing is ripping all the tin off this south wall here and putting that type of paneling up there on that wall. And then we might also end up throwing a couple grow lights in here, we're not sure. Just gonna kind of be a little test trial to add to the garden and the farmer's market and stuff, because the big market for that stuff is early season, like June and July, instead of August and September like now. Sales have really slowed down. People are kind of getting gardened out. So I'm gonna get to work here. I'll let you guys watch for a little while.
Well, we're on our way up to get our first-ish load. I say ish because that right there was my first load. I was up here with our bigger scraper and it turns out it had a flat tire and I had to abandon the load right back there on the trail. Now that I'm pretty close to full and I got a giant pile up the front and back, I'm gonna lift the scraper up some to make it more level so that way when he dumps this bucket on, less of it's gonna flow forward out the front and more of it will stay on it and finish filling me up. And I think we're gonna call that a full load. Now we'll take this one into the yard and dump it and come back for more. On this scraper, the cylinders like to settle a lot, so I constantly am having to lift the can back up so it doesn't drag on the ground. Dumping the sand back there and heading off through the trees up here to go get another load. Yeah, this is not a great place for big equipment. It's tight quarters.
Okay, so this is kind of what I want here. I got it dug down to where we're back to topsoil. All the gravel and clay that was ever hauled in, I'm getting scraped out. And I'm scraping it out instead of just coming in because bringing the sand in. Because it's just gonna be too high. Up in the sidewalls, I'm gonna be covering stuff up and I don't want that. I'm also trying to get like where the gravel is pulled in there. And from all the years of all the equipment coming in here, it is so compact. I'm trying to get some rid of that compaction so the plants can grow deep. And I'm also, one of our worries with this greenhouse and our soils being so thick and heavy they can't drain is alkali. You can see all the white spots in here, and back here it's bad. This building is just always wet. When the snow melts around it and everything, that alkali just, them salts in that soil, I'm not sure how the chemistry and whatever all works in it, but you need rain to wash that down if you don't have drainage in your soil. Like if your soil can't drain, I'm pretty sure it's how that stuff works. I don't know. You guys can maybe correct me on that. And hopefully when we're watering the plants and the garden in here, that alkali does not come back. With enough sand in here, I'm hoping that I can keep that alkali washed away and we stay in pretty good shape. Here's the sand they're hauling in. It is like washed gravel, beach sand almost. That should be some good stuff. That should drain real nicely. We'll blend that with manure and make a good sandy loam. I can't wait. It's gonna look beautiful. Cameron's here with another load.
Well, me and Dad are done hauling sand in for now. We're gonna have him finish digging that out and we'll bring in what we have here just so we don't bring in too much extra dirt. See how far that gets us. And we're mixing this with some some manure that's down on a pile down there. And Brandon's been working over here, pulling nails out of this wall so we can take the tin off, so that way we can replace it with the sheeting. Now me and Dad are gonna start helping him. My grinder method is working, but it's also throwing sparks into my hand and it kind of hurts. So I think I'm gonna try using 2 hammers to pull them out. I don't like the bottom row. They're all in prickly bushes.
Well, I officially got all the dirt out of the inside of the shed here. Now I gotta start filling. They're coming along real nicely. As you can see, the tin's starting to fall off. They're getting that wall almost completely off. I'm gonna come along the inside here and shovel away the edges a little bit and then start filling in sand.
Well, we finished getting this wall all tore off, as you can see, and all the dirt's been hauled out and it's now over here. And now we're using the big excavator to load me to get it out, because the payloader dribbles so much over the sides, it'll just make such a mess. And there's not enough room to get me turned around to it back there. So now I'm kind of up on top of the pile a bit here, and I'm gonna try and sneak out that way, the same way we hauled sand in. But Dad's also hauling manure in now with the payloader and making me a pile. I gotta get over there.
I gotta get the tiller hooked up to the payloader here. But I absolutely hate these stupid connections. They never work. See if I can get this side pushed in. I can't get that side. Oh, yeah, that one went. I got it! I'm a professional farmer. Well, we finished taking out this wall to get the sunlight in here. We still gotta get the particle board, or whatever you call it, the skylines up there, to put on this on that wall. Now we're just tilling it all together. It really does not like those rocks. We're taking this beautiful, nice washed sand that doesn't have any nutrients and mixing it with this 10-year-old cow manure and getting this perfect finished product of a sandy, loamy, nutrient-dense soil. Never really compacts really tight, so this will look really good. So right here I have laid out a product of all three. So this is just the manure, here's just the sand, and then the mixed blend. It just, if only we could do that across all of our acres instead of just in this pole barn that's going to become a greenhouse. So this whole project here, we're not sure what we're doing or if it's going to work. Do you guys have any of you got any idea? Should we hang grow lights in there? Should we take this south roof off and put paneling up there too? Do I need to know anything about greenhouses? You can leave a comment or send me an email, it doesn't matter. But if you guys got any input on that, that'd be cool. Because we're kind of just sending it, not knowing what we're doing. Just like how we didn't know what we were doing a whole lot in the garden either. But with this, we'd like to get produce a little bit sooner because the market's very good in June and in July versus September. Now it's really starting to slow down. So it'd be nice to get some produce a little earlier than we normally would. Start filming.
He is.
What do you guys say to him? So I always have most traps set in the shop here. And this time of year with the crickets, it's almost impossible to keep bait on them. I don't know if you guys ever had that problem where you are, but I did a fresh big rebait last night. And we brought Nibbles to heaven. He's in a better place now. Yeah, once again, he just needed a little oxygen. He's fine. Catch and release around here, boys. You guys got any recommendations for keeping the crickets down in the shop or any building? Because they are horrible. Okay, since we're done with this project for the day at least, and the night's starting to wind down, I still don't have parts for that corn header. I am going to unhook the tiller here, hook up the bucket, and go push rock this evening till it's darkened. Now that's a big rock for a little machine. I'm honestly kind of surprised it's lifting it. All the older people, like my grandparents, always be like, yeah, we picked rock by hand. Grandpa, I don't think I'm picking this thing by hand. I know I look like Hercules, but I'm definitely not. That is a big mamma jamma. Well, I'm gonna keep picking and pushing this big old mess that never ends. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.